welcome back to Mika Reacts and Reviews, where we react to review to things on the internet. And today we're returning to Dr. Peterson. And today we're going to react to a video. It's labeled, Do Women Want Men with Money? This was uploaded 8 months ago and it has 531,000 views and 12,000 likes. This was uploaded by the Wisdom Wire, and they believe that this is one of those things where they take clips of what Dr. Peterson said and kind of make a video out of it. And if you want to see the exact original videos, I believe they have the links there on their channel. But we're gonna go ahead and react to this one. It's only 6 minutes long, so I thought it'd be nice, short, and sweet instead of going to the long version and sort of trying to find the clip of that. We're gonna get right into it, but first, if you like these type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. It helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here we go.
If you look in the modern world, for example, and you try to predict number of available sexual partners for a given male, your best predictive measure of that is income. And the best predictive measure of that is intelligence and conscientiousness. Women aren't after resources. That's wrong. They're after the factors that predict resources. So what we did was we showed women a bunch of pictures, say several pictures of the same guy. So there was several guys. And each guy was in 4 conditions. The photo of each guy was in 4 conditions. Same photo, right? So one guy was poor and useless. One guy was rich and useless. One guy was rich and useful. And one guy was poor and useful. So the rich, useless guy had won a lottery, and it paid out like $4,000 a month for the rest of his life. So no matter how useless he was, he couldn't squander all of it. He had resources, right? The poor, useless guy, well, we don't even have to define that. Everybody understands that. The rich, useful guy, well, that's easy to understand. The poor, useful guy worked for a non-governmental agency. It was a charity, you know, in a charitable organization. And so he had high occupational status but low income, and that wasn't likely to change. So then we asked women to rate these men on a bunch of different attributes, including personality, but also on dateability, basically, and also on probability of considering a long-term relationship with someone like this. And wealth had no main effect. The only effect was usefulness. So the poor, useful guy and the rich, useful guy were attractive, more attractive to the women than the 2 useless guys, regardless of their socioeconomic status. And the women judged the useful guys as higher in openness and conscientiousness, which was pretty smart because openness is basically intelligence and conscientiousness is hard work, and those are the best predictor of socioeconomic success. So, and then, you know, there are certain physical characteristics.
So before we get to the physical characteristics, I totally agree, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to listen to this video, because right now a very popular niche that's on YouTube is sort of this red pill community, and I have nothing against the red pill community, but I do think they sort of preach really toxic mindsets. They take sort of the basic biological urge for women to want a man who is ambitious and financially stable, and then they twist it and turn it into women want men with Ferraris, $1 zillion, multiple mansions, and just a bunch of materialistic BS. And not only does the red pill community teaches that, I think society teaches that as well, especially amongst women, feminism, and even the women's sphere. And it's not true. Most women don't want any of those things, don't care about any of those things, don't need any of those things. They just want somebody who's stable. But he's also correct. It is the characteristics of men who are able to build financial success. It is ambitiousness, is intelligence, is understanding how to even understand how your actions can predict long-term effects, building financial wealth, having financial intelligence. Just because someone has a lot of money does not mean a person is intelligent, does not mean that person is financially intelligent, does not mean that person will keep the wealth that they have, you know. And so like there's a lot of other personality traits and characteristics that's what women actually desire, and those characteristic traits happen to result in men usually being financially stable or financially successful. Doesn't necessarily necessarily mean those men will be ultra rich, multi-millionaires, billionaires, but well off enough where they can live comfortable lives and take care of the families that they produce. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to hit on this video, is sort of to break that stereotype that men want 6 figures and millions of dollars and a Birkin bag. It's like, no. If women want that, if that's what they desire, if that's their values, they're opportunistic women. That is not all women. So let's continue.
You know, there are certain physical characteristics, wide shoulders in men and narrow waist. And what's interesting is that, you know, if you take 60 people, let's say if you took 60 women and you asked them, you showed them a bunch of men and you asked them to rank them in terms of their attractiveness, there's going to be fairly consistent rankings. You know, I mean, we know what makes up attractive facial features for women and for men. It's easy to determine that. What you do is you take 60 faces and you average the features. So you don't get the average person, because the average person is more like a median. You get the averaged person. And the average person has perfectly symmetrical features that are nicely shaped and fairly big eyes, and they're very, you know, they're very nice looking. They're very attractive. And so that means that there's like a central human form, in a sense, that we find attractive. And we see this in other species. For example, there are butterflies who won't mate with another butterfly if it's like a 1/16 of an inch out of symmetry, because then it's not a butterfly of that type. You know, and that's how people think too, is the more you deviate from the averaged person, the less canonically human you appear, and the less attractive that you appear. And so, you know, we're chasing this ideal, in some sense, that's an emergent property of the nature of our species. There is an ideal, like a Platonic ideal, lurking at the back of our minds against whom we compare everyone that we meet. There was a funny study done by the guy who established, it was one of the big dating sites, and he looked at how women rated men, and they rated the 50th percentile man at the 15th percentile. So 85% of men were below average according to women's ratings. Many men are petrified by women. They won't approach them at all. They have no idea how to talk to them. They're just petrified into immobility. And that's way more common than you think. And so that breeds resentment like you wouldn't believe, you know. If you're chronically rejected by people, it's often because of your own insufficiencies. You know, whether that's cowardice or lack of social skills or whatever it is, it's like you can't just brush it off as, oh, well, you know, no one likes me, but really I'm okay. It's like, no, wrong. If everyone rejects you, there's probably something wrong, and it's probably deep and difficult, and it's going to be horrible to fix. And so this isn't a trivial problem. It's not a trivial problem at all.
Stopping it there, I totally agree with him. Like, and I think that's what a lot of the red pill community kind of plays off on, sort of this resentment that sometimes men build up because they're being rejected by women. And who the hell do you think you are to reject me? You're nothing. You're no better than me. Your score is not that higher than me. And so they go on these sort of platforms to watch other men tear down other women because that's what they've maybe had to personally go through at themselves. I realized this like a few years back, like, man, it must be so hard and terrifying and disheartening for men, because for the most part, men are the ones who have to approach women. So therefore, men are the ones who usually have to take on that rejection. Women get rejected too, but a lot of times women get rejected within the relationship already, like if they get dumped or broken up with or cheated on, or sometimes a man might sleep with a woman and then throw her away like yesterday's trash. But initially, like, men have to do a lot of the approaching, so they have to take on a lot of the rejection, and that really can probably really fuck up somebody's mentality. And the whole attraction thing, yeah, like I totally agree with him. It's the same thing, men being attracted to women. It's like a biological trigger to sort of tell you whether someone is going to give you healthy offspring or even be a good protector, like strong facial structures and stuff like that. Like, okay, they're strong or built or tall, they can protect me, and then other cues that tells you, like, if we have offspring, will they be healthy? And he's right. If you can see it in the animal kingdom, like I think in chimpanzees or the gorilla kingdom, like they will literally beat or kill or bully a gorilla or a chimpanzee who's born different, who's born albino or some sort of deformity, pussy because they want to basically weed it out of their genes or something like that. So I think it's totally natural, and that's why, like, yeah, there are toxic and unhealthy beauty standards in the West and in the world, but at the same time, you're never gonna get rid of beauty standards, because some of it, I believe, not every single person goes by this. Generally speaking, most people are biologically built to pick up certain signals when they find something attractive about someone. With women, it's like hips and breasts and butts and stuff like that, to signal, I will give you healthy children, or I will carry a healthy child, or something like that. I'm fertile, you know. But anyway, let's continue.
We diverged from the common ancestor between us and chimpanzees about 6 million years ago. Here's why, at least in part. Chimpanzee females are non-discriminate maters. They'll mate with any male. When they go into heat, which human females don't, then any male is allowed access. Now, the dominant males chase the subordinate males away. And so the dominant males are more likely to leave offspring, but it's not because of the female choice. It's not the case with human beings. Human females engage in hypergamy, and this is also true cross-culturally. Women mate across and up dominance hierarchies. Men mate across and down. The socioeconomic status of a woman is determines almost zero of her attractiveness towards a man, whereas the socioeconomic status of a man is a major determinant of his attractiveness towards a woman. And it isn't his wealth either, because that's been tested. It's his capacity to generate and be productive and to share, because that beats the hell out of wealth. Wealth can disappear, right? But the capacity to be productive and share, that's a much more important element. And why not be chosen on the basis of that, especially because women have to have infants, and infants make the woman dependent, and the woman is just looking logically, rationally, and from an evolutionary perspective for someone who's useful enough to lend a hand.
That is very, very, very true. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I had to like put some light because it was getting dark. It's actually only like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's like really cloudy and misty today in the mountains. But anyway, continuing. One of the things I do agree with the red pill community or the manosphere is when they talk about how men don't really care about a woman's financial success. Like, I think men might care a bit about their financial intelligence, because they don't want to bring a female onto their life, or date someone who has tons of debt, who's really bad with money, who's constantly shopping and spending all the money that he does bring in, or they do bring in. But I don't think they necessarily, like, a woman being a doctor or a lawyer or whatever might turn a man on because, wow, she's intelligent. But I don't think he's like, oh, she got money, yay. You know what I mean? Unless you were an opportunistic guy, or you want a sugar mama or something like that. It's interesting how he put it, where women date up. Hypergamy is another thing that you would hear in the manosphere and the red pill community, hypergamy. But again, a lot of it, I feel like they twisted and like, oh no, hypergamy is women want men with Ferraris and can give them a Birkin bag and take them on like really expensive vacations. Like as he just put, hypergamy might necessarily just be financial success, but it might just be someone who has a higher level of usefulness and consciousness and intelligence. So it's not just money. And I'm glad he said that, because that's not the only thing that women want. It's just money. Smart women anyway. Maybe women who don't have a lot of intelligence, that's all they go after. But smart women, especially if they want to build a family with somebody, you know. And how he talked about how the chimpanzees, which I just brought up, I just used it as an example, how they will just basically weed out or beat out any of the beta guys or the beta chimps, and they would be the ones who get to mate with all the female chimps, and therefore their offsprings will be mostly them, basically building a stronger generation. Because if the strongest chimps and the alpha chimps are the only ones who are mating and making children, then they're going to breed better chimps. So it's mostly about building a stronger generation. It's both, you know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah, he said that's different, a little bit different in the human kingdom, but I still think both sexes biologically want to be attracted to someone in the end, so they can build better offsprings, create better generations. Not everybody wants kids, not everybody wants to get married, and not everybody wants a family. But just because you don't want that doesn't mean that biologically speaking, you're not driven by those things. All right, anyway, let's continue. I turned off the light, by the way. I didn't like the way it was looking, but let's continue.
So women make intense demands on men, and it's no wonder. But the thing is that because women engaged in hypergamy, at least in part, we diverged quite rapidly from chimpanzees because the selection pressure that women placed on men developed the entire species. Now there's two things that happened as far as I could tell. The men competed for competence, let's say. So the male hierarchy is a mechanism that pushes the best men to the top, virtually by definition, and then that's the effect of that is multiplied by the fact that women who are hypergamous peel from the top, and so that the males who are the most competent are much more likely to leave offspring, and that seemed to be what drove our cortical expansion, for example, which happened very, very rapidly over the course of evolutionary time. So...
Alright guys, that was Dr. Jordan Peterson. If you like these type of videos where I react to sort of someone editing his clips together instead of like, because a lot of times when I search for Dr. Jordan Peterson videos, they're like an hour long. So I kind of like when people take clips and kind of create their own visuals, so I guess they don't get copyrighted or whatever. It can be something more of original art on YouTube. But if you don't like that, just let me know in the comment section and say like, I'd rather just see it coming out of Peterson's mouth than seeing an edited version of it where I don't even see him. Let me know in the comment section. But anyway, I totally agree with them, but unfortunately, because you know, we live in a society now that sort of pushes the idea of alphaness is bad and toxic, masculinity is bad and toxic. I feel like it's sort of driving women away from those type of men. And then again, you have the women's sphere and the manosphere trying to teach men and women that you should only go after financial success, and who cares about all the other things that you should be looking for to have healthy offspring and healthy family structures. So yeah, anyway, again, I'm not somebody who's super traditional when it comes to relationships, how they're structured, I guess, traditional relationships. Like, I believe in alternative relationships. I've had alternative relationships, and I believe people should do what's right for them, especially if there's no kids involved yet. However, whatever type of relationship I'm in, whether it's monogamous, whether it's open or poly or whatever, I like gender roles. I like the guy to be the guy and I be the girl. Like, I'm an independent woman and I've been independent for a long time, so why not let someone else take that role when I'm in relationships? And I have no problem with that. And I too, like, every guy that I've ever dated has been financially secure, has been ambitious, intelligent, conscious, financially intelligent. Like, I never really cared about whether they had a Ferrari or what kind of clothes they wore or any of that stuff. That never has been something for me. For me, it's like, if you can, like, if we had kids and something happened and oops, we have a baby, if you can help me take care of this kid, if you're there, that's great. And because, like, people don't get it, like, even guys with money doesn't mean they're gonna stick around and be the father. It doesn't mean they're gonna help take care of your kids if they don't have everything else that goes along with being able to have a healthy family structure. So they might pay you child support, but they're gone. And if they're a high value man, they're just practicing their options or something like that, or exercising their options. They don't have to stick with you. So yeah. Anyway, tell me guys, what do you think? I love listening to Dr. Jordan Peterson. I loved it. Let me know what you think about what I said, about what Jordan Peterson said. Let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal me link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. It helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. Oh, I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle, or I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go in the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel, and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye!